Hello, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Layla, and for today's video, I'm going to talk about how you can recession-proof your life. Now, to be honest, it's pretty tough to completely 100% recession-proof your life unless you are really wealthy. But there are absolutely things that you can do right now with your finances to help your future self in case of a really bad recession or in case you find yourself in a sticky situation when it comes to your finances in the future. I will also add that honestly, these tips are nothing new. You've probably heard them before. They're pretty simple because at the end of the day, finances are simple. But hopefully this video can act as motivation to continue taking care of your finances if you are already doing so, or if it's an area that you've been slacking on in your life, hopefully this will be your inspiration to kick things off. Before we get into everything, I want to give a big thank you to Mint Mobile for partnering with me for this video. If you've been looking for areas to save money, a great place to start is your phone plan by switching to Mint Mobile, where you can get premium wireless for as low as $15 per month. I've been using Mint Mobile for a couple of years now, and I'm so grateful to be saving money on my phone plan and still getting the same great coverage that I've always been used to. With Mint Mobile, you get unlimited talk and text, high quality speed, data, and coverage, including access to 5G as well as access to a mobile hotspot. You get to keep your same phone, you get to keep your same phone number, as well as all of your contacts. All of that for as low as $15 per month, and making the switch is super easy. If you're interested and want to learn more, visit mintmobile.com/debtoverit. Enter in a little bit of information about yourself, and from there you can also determine if your phone is eSIM compatible. If your phone is eSIM compatible, you can set things up basically immediately from the comfort of your home all by yourself. If your phone is not eSIM compatible, do not worry. Mint Mobile will ship the SIM card to you for free. You'll get it in a couple of days, and then you can also set things up by yourself from the comfort of your home. So if you want to save some money without the sacrifice, visit mintmobile.com/debtoverit. That is also linked down below in my description box to get premium wireless for as low as $15 per month when you purchase any 3-month plan. This even includes their unlimited plan, which is the plan that I have, which is typically $30 per month. Thank you again to Mint Mobile for partnering with me for this video, and now let's talk about recession-proofing your life. First thing is to build an emergency fund. How much should your emergency fund be? That's a very common question. It definitely depends on your situation. A lot of people will need to begin with a starter emergency fund where it's just $1,000 or a couple $1,000s, and then you start adding to it slowly on a monthly basis. An easy way to come up with a number is to take a look at your deductibles. So your health insurance deductible, car insurance, your home deductible if you have one, and add them all up, or look at all of them and take the highest number and aim for that in your emergency fund to start with. That way, if anything major comes up across those three things, which is typically where emergencies occur, it's going to be with your car, with your health, or with your home, you can at least have your deductible covered, and that will help a ton. But outside of that, there are going to be a lot of factors that can play a role in how much you should have in your emergency fund. So first of all, do you have any children or dependents? If you do, then you probably want a higher emergency fund. Same with pets. If you have pets, it helps to have more money. Would you consider your job stable, or is it kind of on the rocks? Have there been a lot of layoffs in that industry or at your company? If so, then you may want to bump things up a little bit more. Do you own a home or do you rent? If you own a home, you definitely want more saved because that can be very costly when something comes up. How old is your car and how reliable is your car? Or has there been a need for a lot of repair lately? If so, then you'll want to save more. And then just thinking of yourself, think of things that have happened in the past that you would consider an emergency and how much those cost you. So do you have a lot of dental issues, for example? So maybe you've spent a lot on dental work and it costs X amount per root canal and you need to make sure you have a few root canals saved up. That's just an example. You know yourself and your situation more than anybody, so come up with a number that you feel comfortable with, at least a starter emergency fund, and work on building that. Now, I know the next question is, how do I build an emergency fund, especially if I'm in a situation where I'm living paycheck to paycheck or I have a lot of debt? Yes, I understand that it can be really tough, especially in this economy with inflation and everything. I mean, my first suggestions are going to be obvious. Budget, track, make sure you're living within your means. Cut back on any expenses that you can. That may be by shopping around, switching to different car insurance, cutting out certain bills, anything unnecessary if you're getting your nails done, or if you find yourself spending on a lot of personal things, but you really are concerned about saving up money, then cut those things out. And then to boost your savings, my suggestions are always to sell things around your home. If you don't have things to sell around your home, look on Facebook Marketplace or look in your local neighborhood Facebook group and see if people are putting things on the curb for you to pick up for free. Pick up those things for free and then post those things for sale. Donate plasma if you are willing and able to. I know several people who do that and make a couple $100 extra in the month. Sign up for checking your savings accounts for account bonuses. This is something I frequently do. I frequently talk about it. I will make a full dedicated video on this at some point. But yeah, you get the point. There's definitely options out there. It can be tough at the beginning, but the more that you have saved, the easier it should get. Now, I do suggest putting your savings into a high yield savings account. That way your money will gain interest on a monthly basis, and then you can still access things very easily. But having money to fall back on during tough times is obviously a lifesaver and very, very important. Second thing is to pay off your debt. Now, if you come across some tough financial times, a $700 car payment and $400 in minimum credit card payments and $300 in student loan monthly payments, that's not going to help you. That's a lot of money, and the faster that you can pay off your debt, the better off you will be. As I said before, I know that this is an obvious tip, and I know it's not something that you can just snap your fingers and make disappear overnight or even within a couple of years. It takes time, it takes a lot of effort, a lot of dedication, discipline. I completely understand. I paid down over $82,000 of debt. It took me 5 years to do so, but now that I don't have that debt, I feel much more comfortable with my finances because I don't have, any minimum payments to pay. I'm not losing any money to these credit card companies or on my car loan or to these student loans. And once you no longer have debts to pay, that money can instead be focused on saving and investing and allow you to just further recession-proof your life. And if anything were to happen, like you lose your job or you just have a lower income, you at least don't have those minimum payments to worry about. You just overall need less money to live off of. I documented my journey over the last few years to debt freedom, so I have tons of videos on this, but really the most important thing is to start budgeting, to start tracking your expenses, and also come up with a debt payoff plan. So selecting either the debt snowball, the debt avalanche, or some other method. Come up with a strategy to tackle your debt and actually take it seriously. Third thing is to create multiple streams of income. I saw a stat recently on LinkedIn that I had shared, and I think it was over a third of Americans, it was either a fourth or a third of Americans have a side hustle. They are bringing in extra income from something. And at this point, unfortunately, I feel like it's necessary. I think a lot of people are not being paid enough in order to keep up with everything that they need to pay for. And I hate that that's the situation, but I think it's very important to have multiple streams of income in case you lose your main source of income, your largest source of income. And I think a good starting point is trying to cover just one of your bills. Let's say you want to cover your gas bill or your electric bill, and maybe that's $50 or $100 or $200, whatever it is that you want to cover. Determine an amount and try that for the month. Try to cover that and think of it that way too. I want you to look at it from that perspective. Like, oh, I just made $20. I just completely covered my water bill, or that covered a visit to the doctor or something like that. I also think it's important to start something with little to no startup costs. And this doesn't mean you have to start a full-on side hustle or business, anything like that. If you can just find a way to supplement your income on a consistent basis, it will really, really help. Because while you have your full-time job, this is just going to supplement your income so you can boost your savings, boost your investments, and so on. But you'll also at least have something to fall back on in case anything does happen. But going back to what I was saying before, I don't want anybody to start something that, you have to invest a lot into it. Like you have to buy $500 worth of material in order to make your first $20 after 6 months. That is not worth it. That's not what I'm talking about. There are so many online businesses that you can start with just your cell phone, starting a YouTube channel or being really active on TikTok, things like that. Those things take time to build. If you want something more immediate, you can look into the things I talked about before, like donating plasma or opening accounts for bonuses, selling things around your home, flipping things that you find. Even driving for DoorDash or doing Instacart, those sort of things are going to be more helpful than investing a whole bunch into something in order to generate revenue in the long term. There are so many ways that you can make extra income these days. It's absolutely incredible. And then once you kind of start and you realize this, you can find more ways to increase your income or find different sources of income. And all of it is just going to help your finances overall. Fourth thing is to invest wisely. Now, I'm a very simple girl, and I like to invest in the S&P 500 and the total stock market primarily. There are some other funds that I have across my brokerage account and my 401k, but you will not find me investing in individual stocks and also not in crypto. I also am not somebody who invests in real estate. I'm not completely opposed to it. If anything, I would prefer something like an Airbnb, but I'm not really sure how I feel. This could be a whole different topic, but I think investors are somewhat depending on the situation, it can be very problematic. It is problematic across the US. But the point of this is all to say that certain investments are much riskier than other investments. I definitely like to invest in ETFs and index funds, anything where I can put my money into it, set it, and forget it, and it will just grow with time. Even if there is a recession, yes, it may go down, but it will recover, because if we look at history, that's how it has always worked. Just do your research and invest in the things that you feel comfortable with. Just be aware of the risks with certain investments. Like if you are only investing in individual stocks and you own a large share of one stock and it crashes, then you lose a lot of your money and it may be hard to get it back. Same with real estate. If we think back on the pandemic, and there were some landlords who were not getting their rent paid because their tenant was not able to pay for the rent, and now they're not getting paid. Maybe they lost their job and they can't pay for their mortgage on either of their homes that they have, so just be careful with that. Do your own research, do what is right for you. But if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true. Fifth thing is to live below your means and widen the gap between your expenses and your income. So as you progress through your career, whatever your situation may be, you'll probably see an increase in your income. And hopefully during this time, you're also reducing your expenses by paying down your debt. I mean, your expenses may go up at some point if you have children or if you get pets, or if there's naturally you're going to increase expenses throughout different periods in your life. But there are definitely areas that you can save on by eliminating your debt and also determining what it is that you want to prioritize your spending on, so you're not just wasting your hard-earned money. And if you're increasing your income and decreasing your expenses, you're widening that gap. And that is just going to help tremendously. You're going to be able to save more, you're going to be able to invest more, and it just circles back through all of these tips, and you can further recession-proof your life. So many people fall victim to lifestyle creep. This is when their income increases and everything else starts creeping up too. They have to buy that new car so they can keep up with their boss or their coworkers. They have to get that new, bigger house because they have more children now, or they just want to be more impressive to their family and their friends. You might start going on fancier vacations. You might start going out to eat more, maybe at more expensive restaurants. This is exactly why people who are making $200,000 per year are still living paycheck to paycheck. But if you actually pay attention to your finances and focus on your financial goals, you can be in a really strong place with your finances, and nothing will break you. All right, sixth and final thing is to protect your health and your belongings. Your health is so important, and while you can't control everything about your health, there's some things that just happen in life, even though we have tried our best to prevent them from happening. But if you've experienced any health issues, or if you know somebody who has, you know that they can be really, really expensive. So not only do you have to go to the doctors more, which you're going to have to pay for the co-pays or potential surgeries, you're probably going to be prescribed more medications. Those could be very expensive medications, so on and so forth. And we all know that here in the US, the healthcare system, and in a lot of countries, honestly, the healthcare system is not our friend. It's very expensive, and it can cost a lot of money depending on your health situation. Like I said, you can't prevent everything, but you can definitely help by lowering your stress levels, exercising, and eating healthy. Same thing goes with your belongings, the things that you own that are very expensive or the most high cost items. So this is going to be your home as well as your car. Take care of those things. Get the regular car maintenance, get the oil change, don't let your gas get too empty. Whatever you can do to prolong the life of your car is going to reduce car maintenance, and then also you can ideally keep your car for longer. Same with your home. If you take care of it, keep it well maintained, it will probably last a lot longer and hopefully cost you less money. So there you have it, 6 things that you can do to help recession proof your life. And this is not saying that a recession is here or a recession is coming. It's bound to happen just because they happen every so often. And even though right now we're not in a definite recession, it definitely feels like it for a lot of people. We can feel it in the cost of living when we go grocery shopping, paying for everyday expenses. So I think it's really important that all of us do what we need to do for ourselves, for you to protect yourself in these situations, because nobody else is going to do it for you. And the recurring theme with all of these is that they take time to get to. It's going to take time to build up your emergency fund, to pay off your debt, to get your health together. But the best time to start is right now. So hopefully this serves as a reminder for that, or like I said before, just as motivation for you to continue. So I hope you found this helpful. Let me know if y'all have any questions or if there's anything here that you want me to expand on. If you want to work with me one-on-one, I can help you to come up with a budget, to come up with a debt payoff plan. We can talk about savings, all things with your finances. I would love to work with you. If you're interested, check out my link for coaching down below. But otherwise, thank y'all so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Feel free to share any other tips that you want to down in the comments, and I will see you in my next one.